If your favorite luxury brand is really the best, then why don't the people who own it wear it every day? No logo, no head-to-toe runway look. Just simple clothes that could pass anywhere. That feels wrong, right? Like a chef who never tastes the food. But once you understand why it happens, you'll never look at luxury the same way again. Today, we're counting down 15 reasons luxury CEOs and top executives often don't wear their own brands day to day, even when they could. This matters right now because quiet luxury is everywhere. Logos are having a backlash, and people are starting to question what luxury really signals. By the end, you'll be able to spot when a brand is selling you an identity, when it's selling you a costume, and when the people at the top are using a totally different set of rules. Number 15 is the simplest truth that most people miss. The CEO is not the target customer. A luxury brand can be about craft and quality, sure, but it's also about aspiration. It's built to make someone feel like they stepped up a level. The CEO doesn't need that feeling from the product. They already live inside the brand every day. They sign off on budgets, campaigns, store openings, and strategy meetings. If the product is designed to help customers borrow a little confidence, the CEO is usually trying to do the opposite in public. Look stable, calm, and not needy. Wearing your own label like a walking ad can look like you're trying too hard, even if you're literally the person in charge. Number 14 is ownership is messy. People hear brand owner and imagine one person who loves the brand like it's their baby. In reality, many luxury brands are controlled by big groups and investors. A CEO can be hired to run a company, not to be the face of it. They can oversee multiple lines, multiple regions, and sometimes even multiple labels under the same umbrella. If they wear one label constantly, it can create internal drama. Teams notice, other labels notice, retail partners notice. It can look like favoritism, even if it's not. So a lot of executives choose the safest route: neutral clothes that don't start a fight. Number 13 is the boardroom uniform is a real thing. When your job is to talk to shareholders, bankers, landlords, suppliers, and regulators, your clothes are part of a different game. It's not about being trendy, it's about being trusted. Executives often want to avoid being remembered for a jacket when they want to be remembered for the plan. Loud fashion can distract from the message. It can also make you look unserious to certain audiences, even when it shouldn't. So they go for simple tailoring, dark colors, clean shoes, and a look that says, "I'm here to run things," not, "I'm here to be judged." Number 12 is the biggest status secret. At the top, the flex is not showing the flex. Logos work because they're easy to read. People see the symbol and instantly know what it's supposed to mean. But once you're in the top layer, you don't need the symbol to tell the story. In fact, the symbol can do the opposite. It can scream, "Look at me," and the whole point of high status is not needing to ask for attention. That's why you'll often see top executives dressing in ways that look almost boring, until you look closer and notice the fit is perfect, the fabric drapes differently, and everything looks quiet but expensive. They're signaling control, not consumption. Number 11 is personal taste doesn't always match the brand. Brands have an image. Sometimes it's youthful, loud, and experimental. Sometimes it's romantic, dramatic, or edgy. But a CEO might be a practical person. They might be older. They might travel constantly. They might just not like the vibe. And that doesn't mean they think the brand is bad. It means the brand is doing its job for its audience, not for the person running payroll. A CEO can respect the product while still not wanting to live in it. Number 10 is practicality wins when you're actually working. Luxury fashion often shines in photos, runway shows, and events. But daily life has chairs, cars, airports, heat, rain, and time pressure. When you're doing 12-hour days and flying across time zones, you start valuing comfort and repeatability. You want clothes you can wear twice in a week without thinking. You want shoes you can walk in. You want a jacket that doesn't wrinkle. A lot of luxury pieces are beautiful but precious. You end up acting like you're protecting the outfit instead of living your day. CEOs hate that feeling. They want clothes that disappear so they can focus. Number 9 is security and privacy. This sounds dramatic, but it's real. If you're a high-profile executive, you already have attention. Logos and recognizable items can add more attention. They can also add the wrong kind of attention. If a piece is instantly identifiable, it makes you easier to track. People can recognize you from a distance. Cameras can pick you out. strangers can approach. And if you're in certain places, flashy luxury can become a safety issue. So some executives deliberately avoid anything that acts like a beacon. They choose subtle items, unbranded outerwear, and watches that don't shout. Not because they're afraid, but because it's just smart risk management. Number 8 is the billboard problem. When someone who works for a brand wears it, it can look like a uniform. When the CEO wears it, it can look like a commercial. That sounds silly, but perception is everything in luxury. Luxury sells desire, not desperation. If the CEO looks like they're trying to prove the brand is cool by wearing it all the time, it can lower the brand's mystique. The strongest brands feel like they don't need to chase you. They make you chase them. So executives often avoid looking like they're campaigning for attention. Number 7 is they often have access to special versions that you will never see in the store. This is not a conspiracy. It's just how fashion works. Designers make samples. Tailors adjust fits. Brands create one-off pieces for events and shoots. Executives might receive custom tailoring or special editions that are not mass-produced. So if you think the CEO isn't wearing the brand, sometimes the truth is they are, just not in a way you can recognize. A perfectly cut coat with no logo can still be from the brand, but it won't look like the item on the website, and that changes the whole conversation. The CEO may love the craft, but they don't want the loudest version of the product. Number 6 is they know too much. This one is uncomfortable, but it's honest. When you're inside a company, you learn which products are flawless and which ones are more about hype. You learn which materials are delicate. You learn which shoes destroy your feet. You learn which bag scratches if you breathe on it. You learn which pieces look amazing on a model but feel awkward in real life. Customers don't have that information. They see the campaign and the packaging. Executives see returns, repairs, complaints, and supply issues. That knowledge can make them pick very carefully or avoid certain categories altogether. Number 5 is the shopping experience is not the same for them. When regular customers buy luxury, they deal with the whole package. Sales staff, wait times, return rules, repairs, and the awkward feeling of asking for help after spending a lot of money. Even if a brand is polite, luxury stores can have strict policies, and some items are harder to return or exchange once used. Repairs can take time because parts and craftspeople are limited. Resale can be annoying because you have to authenticate, list, ship, and sometimes fight over condition details. Executives often don't go through that. They might get items through internal channels, showrooms, or styling teams. That makes the product feel different. It becomes a tool, not a big emotional purchase. And that reduces the urge to wear it loudly for validation. Gucci is a perfect example of why wearing the brand can mean totally different things depending on the era. Sometimes Gucci leans into big patterns, bold logos, and a playful look that's meant to be seen. Other times, it goes more refined. A CEO trying to look steady in a serious meeting might avoid the loud season, not because they dislike Gucci, but because they know the logo will become the main topic. That's the whole point. When you run the business, you can't let your outfit become the headline. Number 4 is executives often separate identity from product on purpose. Most customers buy a little story with their luxury. The bag isn't just leather, it's, I finally made it. The watch isn't just metal, it's, I'm disciplined. The shoes aren't just shoes, it's, I belong here. Executives don't want that loop controlling them. They already have the power. They already have the access. If they start using the brand to prop up their ego, it can mess with their judgment. So some executives keep emotional distance. They treat the product like output, not like a mirror. That's healthier for decision-making, even if it looks strange from the outside. Number 3 is they're playing a global culture game, not a local trend game. Luxury brands sell into many countries and many social rules. What reads as classy in one place reads as flashy in another. What reads as successful in one place reads as tacky in another. Executives are constantly switching contexts. They might do a conservative investor meeting in the morning and a creative review in the afternoon. They might land in a city where logos are everywhere, then fly to a city where logos are mocked. So they choose a safe outfit that travels well across cultures. Simple, fitted, neutral. It's the least risky option when you're in the spotlight. Chanel is a good case for how a brand can be instantly recognizable without being loud. The shape, the quilting, the chain strap, the little details, people can spot it fast. That's great for customers who want that instant recognition. But for an executive, that same recognizability can feel like wearing a name tag. Even if it's tasteful, it can become a signal they didn't intend to send in every room they walk into. Number 2 is comfort and repetition are power moves. A lot of powerful people, not just in luxury, adopt a uniform, same types of pants, same colors, same shoes. Not because they lack style, but because they want to remove decisions and reduce mental clutter. When you're making hard decisions all day, you don't want to burn energy choosing an outfit that will be judged online. You want something that works every time. That's why you'll see executives stick to basics, then spend money on fit and fabric. They're not trying to impress strangers. They're trying to stay consistent. Hermès is often talked about like the ultimate status symbol because some pieces are hard to get and the brand is strict about how it controls supply and presentation. That exclusivity is part of the brand's power. But that same exclusivity can create a weird situation for executives. Wearing certain recognizable Hermès items can turn into a conversation you didn't ask for. People start guessing what it cost, how you got it, and what it means. If you're trying to talk about strategy, not your accessories, it's easier to wear something that doesn't trigger a whole debate. Now, number 1, the real reason this whole thing exists. Luxury is a story business, and the CEO is protecting the story. The brand needs 2 different kinds of magic at the same time. It needs to feel close enough that customers can imagine themselves in it. But it also needs to feel distant enough that customers still want to chase it. That balance is fragile. If the CEO wears the brand constantly like it's merch, it can pull the brand too close. It can make it feel ordinary, like something you push instead of something people desire. So executives use the brand strategically. They might wear it at the right event, in the right way, with the right styling. They might choose subtle pieces that show craft without screaming logo. They might let ambassadors, models, and creative leaders carry the loud visuals while they carry the trust visuals. It's not that they hate their products. It's that they understand the brand is bigger than any one outfit. Louis Vuitton shows how this strategy plays out in real life because the brand has both loud and quiet options. You can get something with a recognizable monogram that does the talking for you, or you can get something where the quality is in the cut, the leather, and the shape. A lot of executives across the industry lean toward the second category. It keeps the brand's craft in the picture without turning the person wearing it into a walking sign. Rolex is another easy example because watches are one of the clearest status objects on Earth, and also one of the easiest to keep subtle. Some Rolex models are loud and instantly recognized. Others look like a simple watch to most people unless you're really into watches. That's the executive sweet spot. I appreciate quality without "please notice me." And it reminds you of the bigger point. Executives often choose items that only a small group will read, because their goal is not mass approval. Prada is useful to think about because it shows the difference between fashion statement and executive stability. Prada can do bold looks, sharp minimal looks, and everything in between depending on the season. Customers might buy the bold piece because it's fun and it changes how they feel. Executives often avoid the bold piece because they don't want to be tied to a trend that will look dated in 2 years. They want to look timeless, not timely. So let's recap the big takeaways. Luxury CEOs often don't wear their own brands every day because they're not the target customer, because they have to stay neutral in a complex ownership world, because they live in boardroom rules, and because high status often signals itself through restraint. They also avoid turning themselves into ads. They protect privacy, they choose comfort and repetition, and they sometimes wear special versions you won't recognize. And most importantly, they're guarding the story that makes luxury work, close enough to want, distant enough to chase. If you enjoyed this, I want you to comment one thing. If you owned a luxury brand, would you wear it all the time, or would you avoid it to keep the mystique? Also share this with a friend who thinks logos are the whole point, because this video might change how they see the game.